races to determine this year's champion. There's where the drivers will start, the 16 that are in the chase grid. A wide variety of positions, ranging from number 1 seed Brad Keselowski lining up back in 25th. Joey Logano, the 5 seed, lining up back in 28th, to Kyle Busch being on pole position. And Ryan Newman starting alongside him. Newman, the 16 seed, entering the chase. Qualifying set by practice speeds here yesterday when time trials were rained out last night.
They did get in 2 solid practice sessions today. Saw some
who looked good to you?
There's quite a few that look really good. The 2 car, it's going to be interesting to watch come up through. He looked very, very solid. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, extremely good, what I could see in practice.
Watching Ryan Blaney here working on Ty Dillon. Dillon in 9th, Blaney in 10th. And Ty Dillon there in the mix. Rather, Trevor Bayne there in the mix also in that 6 car. So Blaney still fighting pretty hard in the 22.
Best thing I've ever done was hit the wall. Got that 4, probably tight job, didn't it? Yep. Nice work.
Yeah, what happens a lot of times, you get into that wall, and if you hit it just right, it flattens that right side out a little bit. It gives you a little more side force. And if you hit it with the wheel, it can move the rear end just a little bit. Well, that gives the car a little more skew, and they have a limit on how much skew you can have going through inspection, but I get against the wall and moves it over, it might even help sometimes.
Yeah, he's still just struggling with the exit of the corner in particular, especially after he makes a pass.
Paul Menard in, Dave.
The car had gotten better for Paul, but one of the tires coming off looks like the right rear is the one that actually, yes, it's the left rear that is coming apart on him. That's why he hit pit road quickly.
Caution flag out.
Well, I could see a little bit of tire debris. Looked like it was hanging from the back of Paul's car. You can also see where he made some contact with the wall. I think maybe some of that tire is out on the track.
The caution is for debris, and one of the NASCAR spotters out in the corner called that in not long after the 33 went by him and headed for the pit lane. So 4th yellow of the race is out with 66, now 65 laps to go. Just past the 200-mile mark of this one. And another chance for teams to try and do something to find some speed to run with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, nobody's found it yet. They're going to have to keep working on it. They have to gang up on him on this restart.
They tried last time.
I was going to say they tried that already.
Yeah. He shut that door quickly.
Pieces of that tire debris that came off the Paul Menard car.
You can see how these tires, sometimes they'll unwind the cord almost like a spool. You see that's what's happened here. It's kind of crazy. I mean, the tire's not really worn out. You can see these are the wear indicators. They look fine. But that spooling effect, sometimes when the cord in the tire will expose, as soon as it does, it will just start unwinding the tire. And there it is.
So really fortunate for Paul Menard that that didn't cause a crash. Unfortunate that just after he stopped under the green, the caution came out for that debris. And it's going to leave him well behind in this one. Pit road open and plenty of takers. You're first, Dave.
Once again, Kyle Larson running 3rd. His car is loose. He'll get a 4-tire change. They'll make a wedge adjustment for him. Wrench going in the rear window. And then Kyle will be done once he's full of fuel. Doc?
Chase Elliott said the fire's off good. Starts to lose rear end. Gets loose. 1 round down track bar, right rear, 4 tires. Jamie.
Kevin Harvick said he was just a touch too tight that time around. It was his call. Wanted an air pressure adjustment and right front, 4 tires. Vince?
Getting tighter for the 54 of Kyle Busch. Also, they've made a chassis adjustment, 4 tires. They're still outside the pit window to get to the end. Busch, first one off pit road.
Denny Hamlin continuing to creep back into the picture.
And Regan Smith's crew, another. Great stop.
But Kyle Busch's team holds the lead again. Can he hold the lead on the restart?
And is on at C-Max Dragway. Time to put up or blow up. It's the NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series tonight at 2 a.m., Sunday at 8:30. And there is nothing mellow about that.
On the one to go for the restart in the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast 300, and a few stories to catch you up on from pit road. Brian Scott made a second stop on the pit lane because the first one didn't go as well as planned.
Watch the left rear. See, they have a little trouble getting it off, so the left rear guy's behind just a half a tick. So they dropped the jack before he was finished tightening the left rear lug nuts.
Had to come back and fix that. Denny Hamlin, remember we mentioned, picked up 3 spots on the pit stop. Well, he's going to give them all back and then some. Speeding, exiting pit road. Going to go from 3rd to the end of the line. And Paul Menard, who was on pit road and the tire from his car, the cause of the caution, well, because he was able to make the pit stop and then stay on the racetrack here, he just took a wave around and is going to come back onto the lead lap in 23rd position. All of that, and now 61 laps to go and another restart.
Had a lot going on entering turn 1 and off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, a lot of contact, looks like.
Regan Smith, 7:22. Ryan Blaney, Ty Dillon involved in all the lot of pushing and shoving. They somehow got away with it. Kyle Busch got away and held the lead. Here's 3rd place. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, with Elliott Sadler right behind them. Watch that 3 wide there.
Wow, there was a lot going on right there. It's all kind of started getting into the corner, though. The 22 got into the side of the 3 of Ty Dillon. It looked like they made contact, and they kind of bottled everybody up.
So Regan Smith losing 6 positions in that bump in exchange.
Harvick's made an adjustment that he can stay a little bit closer. It says the restarts that we've seen, as we see Chris Buescher here trying to get this spot back away from the 62. Brendan Gaughan. I was going to speak of Harvick. It seems that on the previous restarts, once Kyle Busch got to the front, he was able to beat 2nd and 3rd place cars by about 1/10 of a lap. But Harvick's staying a little closer this time.
Regan Smith, Brian Scott, both trying to make up some lost ground now. With Chase Elliott running up in 4th position, every one of those 6 lost positions for Regan Smith in that restart scuffle and shuffle is a precious point in the championship. 29 car Daniel Suarez back for another go in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, getting prepared for his effort next season for Joe Gibbs Racing.
He's done a nice job all day. I've watched him a number of times in traffic in some of these restarts and things. He's been very solid, race competitive, run from 14th to 16th most of the afternoon.
Just a great guy, too. I talked to him a little bit earlier in the year. Just a really good attitude, nice boy. Good to see him out here running well.
This is not a Gibbs car that he's in here today, but certainly will be next year.
RAV Racing fielding the effort for Suarez here. Joe Gibbs Racing able to put that together as they try to get Suarez up to speed and approved on all the different configuration of tracks and so on to be ready to go at Daytona next February.
They're putting him to the test right now. Regan Smith is, and James Bush.
I think the type racing that we're seeing here today throughout this and what we're seeing here right now is some kind of a preview of what we're going to see tomorrow with lap times and things that I saw and everything going on in practice today, the different grooves that were being used. We're going to see some outstanding things happening tomorrow and some drivers taking some real chances to try to get that victory and move on to the next round of the chase.
Restarts have been a huge topic and breathtaking this year. And no reason to think they're going to get any less intense as we go through these next 10 races.
Don't forget about the guys that have nothing to lose, that are not in the chase. They want to win.
Absolutely. Yeah, some disappointment from them. A lot of drivers, that's what's going to make our playoff system so different is we're not sending the other teams home like they do in other sports. They're going to still compete and try to win. Drivers driving for their careers and others wanting to attract sponsors, so it's going to be very entertaining for 10 weeks.
Almost a three-quarter distance in the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast 300. Kyle Busch has been the Freaky Fast one today. South of downtown Chicago in Joliet, where the Chicagoland Speedway is located, the NASCAR Nationwide Series 300 miler today under beautifully sunny skies, although a bit cool. Sees the caution flag fly for a 5th time in this race, after the car of Jeremy Clements put on a smoke show that he did not really intend.
Oh boy, yeah, that one gave up big time. I don't believe they'll be fixing that one today.
He did a nice job of not getting himself and anyone else in any more trouble than what happened there.
That can't be fun. You can see the whole inside of the car filled up with smoke. So yellow flag out for the 5th time in this one. Pit road still closed as Clements' car coasts slowly toward the Nationwide Series garage. And an interesting situation set up for some of these crew chiefs. Talk about that in a minute. First, talk about tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race, the MyAFibStory.com 400, race 1 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. 16 drivers within the field of 43 in the new chase grid system. The eliminations, this is the opening round, the first 3 races, where they'll drop the bottom 4 at the end of it. And we start tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN here at Chicagoland. Next weekend, NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship rolls on to Kentucky Speedway. Saturday night race, 7 o'clock Eastern. ESPN News, where you can find it next Saturday. That a separate site race from the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Be interesting to see who comes away from that one with the trophy.
Yeah, we just saw the caution come out, 15 laps ago or so. This is 13 laps they have on the tires in this run. They were right on the edge of being able to make it to the end after they made that last pit stop. This will help. This caution will. We'll see if anybody comes to get gas or if some stay out. It'll be interesting to see what the situation is here.
Pit road going to be open here. And again, by rule, the number of sets of tires you have to run the race in the NASCAR Nationwide Series limited. So you can't just keep firing at them. And with 47 laps still to go, do you use the last set of tires you have?
Come get him and ride it out. Let's come get him.
Sounds like that's what they're going to do.
That would be the answer, yes. Chris Buescher's going to stay out, make a different play. Looks like Eric Almirola stayed out, Brian Scott. But the leader, Kyle Busch, brings most of the front runners in, Dave.
Including Kyle Larson. They were originally going to stay out, but when the call was made up front, they decided to come in. They will put on 4 tires to get him full of fuel to the end. Doc?
Chase Elliott still 2-free, track cooling off, so Greg Oz taking a big swing, adjustment left rear, 4 tires and gas. Jamie.
Kevin Harvick, right sides only. Vince.
The 54 of Kyle Busch is good. Adam Stevens wanted to stay out. Kyle wanted to come. Adam said, okay, let's come get him. 4 tire change, filling it up with Sunoco fuel.
Well, now.
No, this is going to be fun right here now. A lot of different strategies going on.
Look at that.
Not to mention the few that stayed out on the track.
And race on our hands here in a minute.
The guy that's led most of it is going to be well back in line for this upcoming restart. Now, I've got a restart coming up that's going to be pretty wild. A lot of them today have been very entertaining. Kyle Busch has had to fight very hard to keep the #1 spot.
And now we're going to have all these fast cars starting in the back. It's going to be fun.
On every restart today, except for one. On the first lap of racing, Kyle has lost the lead and gotten it back on the second or third. But now, instead of starting up front and being the control car for the restart, he's going to be way back in 16th place.
We've seen a minimum of 3 wide racing, a couple of different roads, so this should be exciting.
Our ESPN in-race reporter, as we have an extended cleanup going on, is back in 7th, Ryan Blaney.
Ryan, Dale Jarrett, copy.
Yeah, I got you, Dale.
All right, Ryan. Hey, we've watched you today. Looked like a little bit of a struggle with the handling of